Is February the 12th. It is 2 p.m. ish Pacific time. I am Marcus Beer, and you have joined me loaded with caffeine from my naughty drink. Anyway, how y'all doing? It's been a fun week, hasn't it? We got impeachment going on. We got all sorts of shit with stars being or actors and actresses being kicked off TV shows. All sorts of fun shenanigans. If you're in the chat room, please say hi. If you're not in the chat room, well, that means you're not watching. If you're not watching, you've probably found something better to do, and I cannot disagree with you on that one. So first of all, let's talk about The Mandalorian. Gina Carano, the the co-star of The Mandalorian, and she was also in Deadpool. A somewhat limited actress, it has to be said. She fits a certain type, and there's nothing wrong with that because let's face it, there's a lot of limited actors and actresses, or just actors, if you want to call them that, in Hollywood who are character actors, fit a certain description, do a certain job. Fine. Unfortunately, this particular one is a QAnon spouting cuckoo banana bucket. She has been spreading anti-mask crap. She's been spreading QAnon conspiracy theories. She's a rabid Trumper. And recently, she has been dropping a bunch of anti-Semitic stuff. And I think that has been the straw that broke Disney's back. She's gone from her character about to be announced as the star of her own series to getting her ass fired. And I got to say, look, I am. And I say that as somebody who is married to a Jewish woman. I find anti-Semitism abhorrent, along with a lot of other anti-things that we have nowadays. And yeah, I'm sorry, you've got to be held accountable for your actions. When you spout stupid shit like that, you don't deserve to make a lot of money and be in the public eye and be associated with a brand, because you just don't. I mean, there's a couple of other characters this week who've been outed as dickbags, and we'll talk about them in a minute. And I just got to say, I hope they recast the character, because the character's great. Character, rebel trooper, kicking ass, really just a good, well-written character, as most of the ones on The Mandalorian are. Hello, Noodle Miner. Thank you for joining us. That's right, Annoyed Gamer was a long time ago. I'm just Annoyed Marcus now. Anyway, so yes, I hope they recast it. I hope they keep the character, and the recasting would be a total fuck you. And I'm sure she's going to surface on some, QAnon site funded movie or something from Fox News or whoever. So yeah, good luck to her. Another person who's been called out this week, and this is accusations that have been building and building and building, and now, unfortunately, there's so many that you have to believe that there is no smoke without the fire. It's Joss Whedon. I talked about Joss Whedon and the Ray Fisher issue, and that was something a couple of weeks ago that is always quite tough to discuss, because it's more of a he said she said, or he said rather. But now we've got the cast of Buffy, led by Charisma Carpenter, coming out and saying that he was a total dick to her, especially while she was pregnant, while Angel was filming. And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Joss Whedon. He's created a lot of pop culture related stuff that I adore. I mean, Buffy and Angel, really I love those series. Still love them. I still watch them. Firefly, not so much as a series. Enjoyed the movie. And then Avengers. I mean, talk about the movie that kickstarted, and everybody will say, "Oh, Iron Man did this," or blah 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 blah. Avengers was the one that pulled everything together and set a template. And Age of Ultron, as I've discussed, is one that gets better with time once you realize its place within the greater MCU, and you see how all the stages so far have completed. Age of Ultron really does fit in there very well. But now that's all tarnished, and he's unhireable, and deservedly so. I'm sorry if you abuse a pregnant woman, or you pick on teenage girls, or you abuse a person of color. Those days are gone, thankfully. those days are gone. You can't get away with that shit. Cannot get away with that shit anymore. So yeah, Joss Whedon is in the cancelled pile, and it's a shame, but deservedly so. Bigger loss than Gino Carano, but because let's face it, she was she was what she was. But yeah, Joss Whedon, city boy, needs to sort his shit out. But yeah, he has to be held accountable. And then let's see, what else are we going to talk about? Let's talk about video game movie casting because we're on a movie trip. So, The Last of Us HBO series. This has been something bubbling along for a while, and it looks like they have the mains. And Joel is going to be played by everyone's favorite babysitter, Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal of The Mandalorian, who goes from babysitting a green CGI Muppet in Goku yogurt to working with Ellie. And Ellie is going to be Bella Ramsey from Game of Thrones, who was a kick-ass little lady. And so it's going to be very, very interesting. The fact that it's on HBO really does give me some pause and some encouragement, rather not pause, that this is going to be a grown-up show, which is great. I mean, R-rated, M for mature, if you will, which it should be. There should be violence. There should be very interesting themes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have to do with it. Obviously, if you have any comments, please drop in to the comments section. Next up, let's talk about the Metal Gear Solid movie. Now, the Metal Gear Solid movie has been, my God, the movie's been in development since before the PlayStation 2 launched, probably. And they have finally got Solid Snake. And who is Solid Snake? Oscar Isaac. And look, I'm more invested in The Last of Us as a miniseries than I am Metal Gear Solid. And I've said this before. But I know there's millions of hardcore fans who want to see this. And this is probably going to be the toughest movie to adapt, or video game to adapt into a movie, because the fan base is so vociferous. You have to balance the demands of the hardcore, of which there are many, and the commercial demands. Now, obviously, Oscar Isaac is a very good actor. I mean, he was woefully underused as Poe Dameron in the last 3 Star Wars movies. He's done some really good work in various other movies down the line. Always, it's nice to watch him in a bunch of stuff. But yeah, this one's going to be interesting. I am not as excited. I mean, I'll certainly watch it when it comes out, which will probably be in about 50 years' time. But what do you feel like? Is he your Solid Snake? Is this the guy you envisaged? Let me know. Excuse me. Anyway, let's face it, we've had a triumvirate of movie, video game, TV series adaptations really kick into gear in the last 24 hours, to be honest with you. The Borderlands movie that I didn't even know was a thing. Now, I'm not sure what exact rock. Oh, by the way, do you like my Ripley print? It's going up on the wall. Oh, and I also dug out the Mr. Handy Abraxo huge thing. This thing's bloody huge. Look at this. Oh, hang on. Look how bloody huge it is. That's going up on a wall when I find a wall big enough. Maybe I'll go put it on the ceiling. But that's actually from an E3 booth at Bethesda. It was given to me a long time ago, and it's been sitting in my closet. So yeah, let's go back to Borderlands. Hands up if you knew there was a Borderlands movie coming. I didn't. I mean, it only seems like yesterday the Borderlands 3 came out, which still I haven't played, to be honest with you. I enjoyed Borderlands 1, liked 2 a lot, but 3 never appealed to me really, or as much as the previous 2 games. And I'm going, I'll probably buy it when it's on sale. Because obviously I don't get free shit anymore. And deservedly so, because I am and nobody has been and almost was. So yeah, the days of, have a code, have this, have that, long gone. This is what happens when, you step away from the industry. And there are younger, brighter, perkier, firmer, individuals doing their stuff and doing it very, very well. It has to be said. So yes, let's talk. Hello, Nelly Loves Life. Nice to see you, and Noodle Miner, and Sublevel, and registered subscriber for Easy Allies. Welcome. Let's see who else is in the chat show before we carry on talking about the Borderlands movie. Cools Boy, Draths, Nightwing 3060, Replay, Mr. Blomkamp. Hello, my old friend. How are you? All right, so this Borderlands movie. Kevin Hart is in it. Kate Blanchett is in it. I mean, I will watch for almost anything with Kate Blanchett. I mean, I have a huge one. She's a fantastic actress, but two, I've always had a crush on her anyway. But I mean, she has just she has to be one of the most versatile actresses out there, and to see her in a Borderlands movie, I mean, it was kind of a shock when she agreed to do Hela in Thor Ragnarok, and she totally kicked that out of the park. I'd love to see that character return someday. But to see her in Borderlands gives me hope that this might actually be a very well written movie. Kevin Hart, somebody who I very much enjoy a lot of his comedy stuff. He was great in Jumanji, both Jumanji movies, and Central Intelligence with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. And he's been in obviously a bunch of other stuff as well. And he's somebody who took a long time to grow on me, have to admit. He is the world's smallest man, but he's also very, very funny. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays off. And then Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis, the Scream Queen from the 70s, from the Halloween movies, and then moving on to stuff like Trading Places, A Fish Called Wanda, back in the Halloween movies again. She is obviously a huge, when it comes to movie geeks, she's a huge draw. So this actually is probably the one that has most of my attention now with regards to movie adaptations of video games. Because of that cast, no, I really hope that it's not going to suck. Interesting director in Eli Roth, who, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's done more sort of like horror films than this sort of movie, which would strike me. This would be more of a action-driven comedy, I would imagine the Borderlands movie to be. But anyway, it's got to be better than Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Yes, True Lies, of course. Replay, good job, Replay. Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies. I mean, she's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Follow her on Twitter; she's hysterical as well, and doesn't take any shit from anybody, nor should she. So, yeah, I'm going to ask you guys now: of the three, what are you most interested in? Is it Borderlands, or is it the Metal Gear Solid movie, or The Last of Us? What do you think? I'm now watching the chat room with great anticipation. And in fact, I'm just going to have another drink of my naughty coffee drink. All right, I'm going to get back to that. Oh, hang on. Last of Us, because there are Raypad's in the house. Mr. Man City, ladies and gentlemen. So, one for Last of Us, one for Metal Gear. Last of Us because it is more Game of Thrones actors. Last of Us, okay, interesting. I mean, The Last of Us is going to be a miniseries as well, which means it's got that potential to actually go on and on and on and expand the storylines beyond Joel and Ellie. To be honest with you, as long as it doesn't go down the Walking Dead route, because that was fun for the first couple of seasons, and then it just got so monotonous, and all the spin-offs I felt just a little too much. Sorry, something caught in my throat. Okay, let's also talk about another TV show that I've been watching that ended yesterday. The Stand, Stephen King's The Stand on Paramount Plus, CBS All Access, whatever they're calling it. It's the miniseries that based on the Stephen King book and had obviously been done as a miniseries in the 90s. And this new one came out, and I had high hopes for it initially, and it's had some really good things. Great cast on the whole. But oh, what a miserable ending! What a letdown ending. Um, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it, even though I mean it's based on a book that's been out for 20, 30 years, 30 years maybe. Um, they some of the issues I've had with it is, especially in the first few episodes, they cut back and forth in the timeline. Nothing was chronological. It was all going back and forth. It was a little bit confusing, especially on an old man like me. I would have preferred if they hadn't tried to be too clever. Some of the casting was really, really good. Unfortunately, for a mini series that was almost 9 hours long, 9 episodes, I think it was in total, and the original was what, 2 4 hour episodes, 2 2 hour episodes, so it was 4 hours. The original adaptation, in my opinion, built up the characters way better than this one. None of the characters really jumped out. I mean, Greg Kinnear as the as the character of the professor. What a waste! Oscar nominated actor. Um, I know it's an ensemble cast, but jeepers, Whoopi Goldberg barely in it, and perhaps they were impacted by COVID and had to cut stuff down. Um, Yeah, I mean, they had Christ, the guy who's playing the Flash in Justice League. Oh crap, I can't remember his name. He plays Trash Can Man. He's barely in it, and he has a pivotal moment at the very end. And it's basically the problem with the stand is that it didn't have, or this adaptation, it didn't have a strong core to pull you through. You didn't get a chance to get invested in everybody's stories because they were chopping and changing and cutting back and forth. Um, and in the end, yes, there is a spoiler alert. Like everything, there's a cliffhanger. I don't know if the cliffhanger is was in the book because I've never finished the book. I've never been able to read the book because, like I said, I love Stephen King and I love a lot of his adaptations, but his books, ooh, they are so hefty to get through, especially as you get older. Ezra Miller, thank you, Raypad. See, Ray, just my train of thought just went totally out the window. Stop telling me things. My iWatch. Um, yeah, I mean, they set it up to be a very, a very predictable um, cliffhanger. And like I said, I'm not sure if this was done on purpose or it was something new. Apparently, Stephen King wrote the last episode. He wrote the teleplay for the last episode, and it just didn't feel very strong at all. It felt very predictable, very dated. Characters doing things that were totally ridiculous for characters in their situation to do. And so yes, it ended as a damp squid. And I mean, I wonder if they're planning Stand 2, Stand Harder, or whatever they're going to call it. But I don't really care for it. So yeah, it's a shame. Dig up the original. Dig up the original because it's dated and it's pure 90s TV and made for TV America, made for network TV as well, not even your HBO. So I'd say dig up and watch that one. Okay, what else? What else am I going to talk about? So obviously the stand's done. Apparently this weekend Justice League is coming, or rather the trailer for the Snyder Cut. So to celebrate the trailer for the Snyder Cut, which comes out on Valentine's Day on Sunday, they've released a teaser trailer for the trailer. When did teaser trailers for a trailer become a thing? When did a teaser trailer for a teaser trailer for a teaser trailer for a trailer become a thing? Because that's all it is now. I mean, it's marketing gone absolutely freaking wild. They are either recutting the same crap over and over, which gets repetitive and it's just annoying, or they put in a bunch of stuff that you know is either going to spoil the movie or the miniseries in this case, or gets you so excited and then it hits the frigging cutting room floor. Whatever happened to just pacing and decent foreplay? I mean, as I've said, I think I've said this before. The people in the marketing department at these various companies, I bet you they're crap in the sack. They have no idea how to do foreplay. Anyway, all right. So, been going 20 minutes. By the way, I am now archiving all of this Twitch stuff on my YouTube channel because I actually forgot I had a YouTube channel that I set up in 2013, 2014 after I left Game Trailers. And it's got some stuff that I recorded from home. And the last couple of things in there was like Assassin's Creed Syndicate in 2014, I think it was. And oh my God, I look young. My hair is obviously it's shorter, but my hair and my beard, they're darker. I'm not as careworn. I don't have an 8-inch scar down my chest. I was a little bit slimmer too, and that was depressing. But I still had almost 4,500 subscribers, which was amazing. So thank you to everybody who's now seen these videos as I started archiving them over there, and I sort of like come back and commented on the YouTube page, and are following me here and started following me on Twitter again. So thank you for that. I very much appreciate it. It's nice to reconnect with a lot of you. So yeah, that's just fun. Beer makes me farty and bloaty. All right, well, thank you, Liz. That's very kind of you. You may have a gluten allergy. You should look into that. Switch to gluten-free beer. Now, one of the questions I do get asked a lot is, and I'm not saying that it's a negative thing, because let's face it, what does my Twitter hashtag have to say? What is it? It's Annoyed Gamer. People are asking if Annoyed Gamer is coming back, and it's not. It's not Annoyed Gamer as it was. It's not me standing there for 15 minutes with high production values, spouting off about whatever gaming topic there is of the week. It's me sitting here with zero production values, some lighting, some nice artwork, a bottle of Pellegrino, and I'm just going to spout off about whatever takes my fancy. It's going to be movies, it's going to be TV. Sometimes it's going to be sports, sometimes it's going to be politics. Sometimes I'm going to stream a game, which I did this week, but I'll get back to that in a sec. So yeah, Annoyed Gamer is gone, or retired, or buried, or whatever. Now it's just Annoyed Uncle Marcus, if you will. Not always annoyed. There's some things that I'm going to talk about that I love. So that's why this is called I Am Beer. That's why the channel is called I Am Beer, because I am who I am. That's me. Pop Culture Clash. Oh yes, I miss doing that show. I love doing that show with Jeremy Hoffman. I miss a lot of the people, obviously, from the Game Trailers days. And again, on a related note, Shane's, I've been talking with Shane. He's not feeling too good. He's had a rough week. He's been in the ER a few times. So if you have a minute, click on @Dinfire on Twitter and send him some love. I'm sure it would cheer him up. He's not been feeling his best. So having been in that particular boat myself, sending him all the best wishes. Let's talk about, what was I going to talk about next? I don't know. You'd swear I haven't prepared for this. Well, I have kind of prepared for it. Ooh, talking about streaming. And yes, this is my other de rigueur. I have like 3 different drinks on the go. After that first episode where I streamed for an hour and I ended up getting so hoarse at the end of it, throat lozenges and various drinks will keep me going. I miss GT too. Am I going to do anything with Mr. Pacta in the near future? I don't know. After the pandemic, yes. After we've both been vaccinated, probably, because we are both old men now. I mean, we have to be very careful. We have to take it easy. We have to make sure we don't get infected with the COVID. And we have to make sure that we're still alive to drink scotch on his boat, which we will do at some point. I don't know if that will convert to something on camera. We shall see how that goes. But he's doing well. It was his birthday recently. We chatted, and yes, you should always check out the Pacta Factor on Shifted. Going back to the streaming thing, a couple of days ago, I streamed my first game ever. The man who said that streaming games was stupid and boring and I would never do it, even if you paid me, ended up doing it without anybody paying him. So, yeah. I streamed about 90 minutes of Cyberpunk 2077. It was an up and down experience. I used OBS, which is another app outside of the Twitch Studio beta, and a couple of glitches. My camera was a little off. The screen was a little off. I had to adjust that, and still a little off that I'm still working on. I had an echo on the mic. Things weren't working fine. But then I got into the swing of things, and it was actually fun to chat with everybody in the chat room when I could and play Cyberpunk 2077 on PC and just show some of the numerous glitches where we that we all experienced as a group. I mean, I think it's like 10, 12 of us joined at one point. And it's just fun. It is always fun to share that sort of experience with people. So yes, I enjoyed that, and I'm going to stream again next week. Probably on the Tuesday. Oh, sorry, the Wednesday segment will become streaming, and I'll stream for a couple of hours, and we can enjoy. I may carry on with Cyberpunk, may switch up to something else, may switch up to a game I totally hate. Had some interesting feedback from it. One person said that I shouldn't be really streaming that game because of the controversy behind it and why it was a sold as one thing and then didn't fulfill its potential. And I can totally understand that. I can totally understand people being very upset at CD Projekt Red for overpromising and under-delivering. But I will say, and this is the only caveat, I'm not defending the fact that they put out on two consoles that they shouldn't have. It shouldn't have been out on Xbox One, shouldn't have been out on PS4. That was it. End of story. Should have been next gen only, PC only. On PC, as you saw, apart from a couple of glitches with regards to just broken AI or geometry, there was one section where stuff that felt like a missed trick where one of the missions was to send a car over a ravine as a funeral pyre with a character in it, which we did. And then I got on my bike and I was saved my game. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have my Thelma and Louise moment. I'm going to ride off this broken bridge. And it just wouldn't let me. Accelerating. And then he went foot, and stopped. The only way I could do it was on foot when I ran off the edge. And that was really underwhelming as well. But then, like I said, some geometry issues where I called my bike and my bike fell through the world. So that's all that was shown with the handlebars, hopped on, and then I couldn't move. And that's another reload. But being able to show this stuff to you and experience this stuff to you first off, I wish I'd have done it back in December when this had shipped, because we really could have had fun, before all the controversy. But despite all that, the game is still fun. There's a lot of great missions, a lot of great storytelling. There's a lot right about it, but only on systems that can handle it. So the controversy is, should they have released it? Yes. Should they have released it on the old gen consoles? No. Should it only be PS5, new Xbox 2S, whatever the fuck it's called, and PC? Yes. That's all it should have come out on. That's it. And that's just the way it is. They delayed it and paid for it. They paid for that fact. And now apparently they've been hacked and there's a bunch of stuff being released. They're in for a rough time. I just hope they continue to fix the damn game. Okay, so on the subject of games I have tried, I actually tried an old one yesterday, which has been out for a very long time. But I decided just to give it a go, and it was Warframe. Because I really had no idea about Warframe and the community behind it, and it popped up in my in my feed of free games to try, and I thought, I'm going to download it. It looks gorgeous on this machine. It's over the shoulder third person shooter, or shooter / melee, and I'm only a couple of hours in. Kind of repetitive initially. Same missions are the missions are you have to do this, advance the story, and it's like, all right, sneak through here, kill X amount of bad guys, go pick up something that always seems to look the same, bust open a bunch of storage crates or whatever to get resources, and that's it. Repeat. Now I've only got 2 hours in. I've only been playing for two, maybe 3 hours, so I've done 4 or 5 missions, explored the ship, and luckily managed to randomly pair up with a couple of people on missions inadvertently that got me through even quicker. But it was fun. There's something about it. It shouldn't work, but it does. It's actually very enjoyable. It's repetitive. The gameplay mechanics so far are very limited. Now I'm still on I'm sure I'm still on the training wheels. And we'll talk again when I've hit 10, 12 hours and I've upgraded my character and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's if you haven't played it, have a look see. Have a look see. Tell me what you think. Um, okay, Rockstar Punk Gaming just got started on playing Red Dead Redemption 2 again. Never got Chapter 2 on release. What? Okay, so let's talk about Red Dead 2. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5 for me, one of the greatest games of all time. I have bought it on PS3, I bought it on PS4, I've got it on PC, without a doubt. But Red Dead, I played the first one, bought the first one, had some fun with it, but could take it or leave it. It felt too confining, too restrictive after the freedoms of Vice City, Liberty City, San Andreas, and so on and so forth. And so Red Dead 2, I did the same thing again. I'm like, all right, I'm going to get sucked in Rockstar I trust. And Rockstar I do trust. Because like I said, in the GTA games, they've given me so much entertainment down the years. And I played 5, 6, 7 hours. I mean, it didn't help that I had to play that. Talk about slow-paced prequel. Prologue, rather, not prequel. Prologue. That just I got through all that and thought, all right, so this is going to be interesting, and then I just got bored, really, really bored, and I don't know what it is about Red Dead. Maybe it's the Cowboys thing. I fucking hate westerns. I mean, to me, Westworld, the HBO series, started off strong, bored the shit out of me by the end of the first two seasons really bored me. Season 3 picked up because the Cowboys section, the Wild West, was gone. I don't know what it is, but I fucking hate westerns. I mean, does anybody else feel this way about one particular genre of whether it be movies or video games or whatever? I mean, obviously, there's a numerous amount of video game genres that just leave me cold. JRPGs. So I hate the West and I hate the East. That's me. Aren't I wonderful? But yeah, cowboy movies. I watched 310 to Yuma once. Bored me stupid. Can't take a John Wayne movie. I mean, if I'd have been alive in the 1940s, I'd have topped myself. Because that's all you had was fucking Westerns. Everything was Westerns. Didn't even like the Lone Ranger as a kid. So yeah, I mean, I won't be back for any sort of like Red Dead Redemption. If there's a 3, I'm just going to pass. I'm going to save myself my $60 and put it towards something else. I know they're pushing the Red Dead Online thing. I keep on getting notifications for it on Facebook and everything else, like $4.99, pay now for Red Dead Online. And I'm like, didn't I get that free with Red Dead PS4? Fuck that! I'm not paying for that again. Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else really doesn't like westerns? Or what else don't you like? Tell me what you don't like. Everybody knows we all know what we like. Tell me what you don't like in the comments while I have a sip of my drink. Mm. Oh, just a half calf, by the way. I can't be doing the full calf anymore. Sets my teeth on edge. I'm like, again, getting old. Okay, so Raypad likes the Spice Girls. That's no surprise. So, what else are we going to talk about? What else is going on? Are we all set for Valentine's Day? No, stupid ass day. The older you get, the more you get annoyed at Valentine's Day. The wife and I never. I mean, for the longest time, she worked in the restaurant industry, and so she knew how crazy, especially here in LA, bars and restaurants are on Valentine's Day. But we've never really celebrated it until this year. And as part of our ongoing COVID survival course, this is long and convoluted, like every story I'm ever going to share with you. So thanks for sticking around. We had 2 Christmas trees for Christmas. We had both identical, both artificial, both pre-lit. One in our living room, one in our dining room. And they, we put them up directly after Thanksgiving here in the US, and it was bright and cheerful and wonderful. And then obviously we had to take them down, or it would take down the Christmas decorations. And with just the general COVIDness and being locked in, and the final days of the Trump administration here in the US, and all the various things that were going on, we decided to keep one of the trees up. We totally stripped it of its decorations, and it was actually my nerd tree. Stick with this show through to December of next year, and I'll give you a guided tour of my nerd tree decorations. Doctor Who, South Park, Simpsons, Mandalorian, Star Wars, Spider-Man. I mean, I got a bunch of great decorations that I have accrued over the last couple of years. I would definitely recommend having a nerdy tree. The nice tree the wife decorates, and it's all pretty, and it's like something on Martha Stewart, and it's got birds on it and baubles, and it's delightful. And then you have my tree, and it's like fanboy's wet dream. Let's talk about footy in a minute, Ray. Do not be jumping forward yet. So yes, we decided to keep one of the trees up after we took everything down, and we decided to. It's only going to be up for another couple of days because we turned it into a Valentine's tree. This is how sad and how desperate we have gotten. This is how much COVID lockdown has fucked with our brains. The wife got some decorations, some little heart decorations off Etsy, and we've wrapped them around the tree. So it's a nice green tree, white sparkly lights, and little white hearts all over it. And then Valentine's gifts to each other. We decided we're not going to spend any additional money. So if we had any returns from our Christmas gifts, we took that money. We returned the gifts, took that money, and bought new gifts for each other with them. So we have a couple of gifts to go under the tree, and we're going to have a nice dinner. And that's our Valentine's Day for the first time ever. This is what happens when you're going insane in lockdown pandemic world. Yes, you are. You are RPG. You have to put a tree up. You have to. It's fun. Warms up the whole house. Raypad, all right, let's talk about footy because big weekend coming up. Manchester City are probably going to win again. They demolished my hometown club Swansea in the FA Cup this week. Had a much tougher game than they actually did last time, where Sergio Aguero cheated and was offside to score the winner. Should never have happened. But this time you can't argue. They were 3-0 up and coasting. So my team, Liverpool, have Leicester tomorrow morning. It's 12:30 kickoff in the UK, which is like 4 a.m. tomorrow. So I'm not going to get up for the game. I just can't. I'm too old. So I'm going to get up, avoid all reports for it, and just watch the DVR version of the match. I hope we do. I hope we can play well, because otherwise our top four hopes are going to take a tumble. Yes, City beating Spurs tomorrow. Although I don't know, Spurs will probably pay up for a draw. Spurs can be very well defensively drilled against the bigger teams, as they've showed time and time again. Yeah, so that's footy, and it's a big rugby weekend. Wales go up to Scotland to play against the Scots in Scotland, as you would in the Six Nations. England, I believe, welcome Italy, and France play Ireland, I think. Obviously, I only know really what my team's doing. And again, I fully expect my team to lose this weekend. So on next week's show, I'll probably still be depressed with regards to the sporting prowess of my teams, because I expect them to be beaten over the weekend. Anyway. All right, yes, RP Genius. I think it's going to be a rough one. All right, so there you go. I am now going to open the floor to questiones. I've rambled. I've talked. I've been going for 40 minutes. It's actually easier to stream and talk, because then I can, at least, we have something else going on. It's not just me wittering on. It's like the world's worst chat show, this, isn't it? Without guests. Maybe I should get sock puppets. opinion on Clubhouse. Yes, Clubhouse. So the wife, who is social media maven, um, she she runs her own PR consultancy. Um, she's like, let me get you an invitation to Clubhouse. Clubhouse is the next big social media thing. Everybody who's on is on it. Blah 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 blah. She sends me this invite. I sign up. I've got like 30 odd followers. I don't know what the fuck it is. Apparently, it's something like this where you just talk. I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, maybe Ray, maybe we're too old, buddy. I mean, I don't have a Snapchat. I think I have a Snapchat account, but I've never used it. I have Instagram, but I don't know TikTok. Obviously, I'm married, so I've never done the what's the swipey one? What's that swipey one? The swipey dating thing. Tinder. Thank you. Yeah, never done that. So yeah, I mean, maybe I just that you get to a certain age and there's a cutoff for these sort of things and understanding them. So yes, if anybody does want to explain to me and Raypad with what Clubhouse actually is, feel free to tweet at me and CC at Raypad TVN and explain it to us, because at least I've got my tag, I've got my name. So nobody can take that, which is fun. OnlyFans. Yeah, I know what OnlyFans is, and that's never going to happen. I mean, Jesus, talk about putting you off your lunch. There are certain things that should not be seen. Yeah, okay, I'll be genius. Am I looking forward to the Olympics? The Olympics are not going to happen this year, or if they do, they'll be empty. I've got. How the hell are you going to get everybody, all these teams from all over the world, teams from countries who cannot get their people vaccinated, who cannot get them to behave and stick in bubbles? How the fuck are you going to get them all to Japan without infecting all of Japan? I mean, it would have to go out without fans. It would have to go without several countries. I think a lot of countries will drop out. I think. I mean, we're seeing some issues with the soccer right now, where Germany's not allowing teams to fly in to play their teams in European tournaments. So stuff's being like done in Budapest, which is nonsensical. Nonsensical. Because we are still in a pandemic, and no matter what people say, and I've had people, again, ironically on the YouTube comments, saying, well, we got vaccines here now and all this, you shouldn't be ruled by fear. I'm like, yeah, I'm in an area with one of the highest take-ups, and people are being stupid, and I know people who've caught this, and a lot of them have recovered, which is fantastic, but there are also people who have died, and there are also people who don't know what the long-term effects are. Somebody who is a close friend of my wife's got it back in March, right at the beginning, and still hasn't got his sense of smell back. It's kind of worrying. We don't know what the effects are in kids. Yeah, people want the schools open. I understand for a lot of people, it's like, oh, I've got it, I've had it, I'm good, I'm fine. Boom. Not everybody's like that. A lot of us have to be really fucking concerned, have to be really careful. And for every person who goes out without a mask and every person who refuses to take the vaccine, you're fucking over other people who don't have much choice in this matter. I have to get the vaccine. I'm going to get it as soon as it's available. That, given California's fucked up system, might not be for another 3 months. I don't know. Thankfully, both my parents have got it. They're in the UK. They're both over 60. They both got it in the last couple of months. But myself and my wife, don't know. So yes, the idea of a big sporting event such as the Olympics just fills me with dread, and I don't think Japan, especially as they've got their COVID rates down, is going to be very interested in it. Don't know if you hear the dog barking in the background. That means the mailman's here. Spike's world's greatest alarm. Yeah, Pep Guardiola's mum passed of COVID last year. Jurgen Klopp's mum passed away this past week, but he can't go to the funeral because of the COVID restrictions that are still in place, and understandably so. I can't go back for my uncle's service next week. My favorite uncle who passed last week, because again, COVID. Um, Even the cost of the flight. I mean, if that wasn't an issue in these sort of like stress times, and the idea of getting on a plane for 12 hours wearing a mask, um, wasn't it didn't make it totally out of the question. I'd have to be in quarantine for 2 weeks, and the government in the UK is apparently making £700-800 profit off anybody in quarantine. Which does lead me to say that anybody who travels for anything other than emergency, humanitarian, family emergency type thing needs to be kicked up the ass. Nobody should be going on planes. Let's just get it done and get it out of the way. All right. Let's see. What else are we looking at? Here we go. Yeah, Rockstar Punk Gaming, New Zealand and Australia have done very, very well. I mean, Australia managed to get it done just in time because obviously they're heading into wildfire season, and we all know how 2020 started for them. And New Zealand has been fantastic. God bless those hobbits. They really nailed how to do it, and obviously being an island, they knew what they could do and what they got away with, which makes Britain's excuse of of management for the last like 8 months. And look, they're getting on top of the vaccination game. A lot of people getting vaccinated, cannot argue with that. But the mismanagement before that just is all the more mind-boggling. When you are an island, you say, "All right, we're cutting everything off. Nobody's coming in. Nobody's going out. Everybody stay home. Let's get rid of this thing, and then we're going to slowly open things back up as needed." But no. Everybody go to the pub, but don't stay after 10 p.m. Boof. Anyway, let's talk about something else. What else are we going to talk about? Anybody? Bueller? WandaVision, I haven't seen today's episode yet, and I've stayed off Twitter because apparently a bunch of wankers are off spoiling it left, right, and center. So I'll talk about WandaVision next week, probably on the Tuesday stream. Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what's in the system for today. I'm sure it's going to be another really interesting episode. I'm going to say what I've said before. I just wish they had done it in hour-long episodes, shorter miniseries. And I know they want to spread out the content. They want people to subscribe. I'm an ongoing Disney Plus subscriber. Have been since day one. Got no quibble with it. You got my money. Give it to me in more than 35-minute segments or whatever the hell it is. I thought Mandalorian managed it better because the Mandalorian was a full hour long. It felt like a full meaty episode. WandaVision, especially the first 3 episodes, felt like they could actually have been a 90-minute miniseries, introduction, mini-movie type thing. All right, I think that's it. I don't think I've got anything else to talk about, really. Did I catch the trailer for Young Rock? Yeah. I love Dwayne Johnson. I've never been a WWE fan, but as an action hero, I mean, anybody who can overcome the fucking Scorpion King and still have a great career. He seems like a genuinely nice bloke, family man. He is just he's basically the action star equivalent of Tom Hanks, in my opinion. That's why when they announced back in 2016 on SNL that Hanks Johnson, I think, was going to be the ticket for 2020, I'd have cheerfully voted for that, and I think most of America would have as well. But yeah, I can't see how this is going to work. Maybe I'll give it a go. We'll see. I did watch Clarice last night, which is the Silence of the Lambs Clarice Starling movie show. And I'm just going to say what I usually say about these things. Looks like it should have been on something like HBO or Stars or Showtime, premium cable. No Fs, it's like make it sweary, make it more gory. Jury's out. 1 episode. We'll give it another couple of episodes, much like The Equalizer. See how they go. And then I'll deliver a damning verdict. Uh, with all the Star Wars series being made, is there anything that in that universe you'd like to see in a series? Hmm, that's a good one. Um, I mean, I'm looking forward to Obi-Wan because Ewan McGregor absolutely rocks. Um, Mandalorian did take me by surprise. I really, initially, I didn't know if I'd enjoy it as much as I did. Uh, it'll never happen, but it would be nice to see an R-rated Star Warsy universe show with violence and swears and backstabbing and lots of gore and like Game of Thrones, Westworldy type thing. Never happen, of course, because it's the mouse with the mouse house. But that'll be cool. Yeah, it's not the Equalizer with Edward Woodward. Good old Eddie Three Planks. Um, yeah, I'd like to see a grown-up Star Wars. Never happen. That's why I think I love Deadpool so much because it was it was Fox taking their stab at the MCU, but doing it, in such a fun, rude way. And Deadpool 3 is, in development, which is great, and we will see another R-rated, and hopefully that's going to open things up a little bit more for for the Marvel stuff. But yeah, it should for Star Wars too. Disney needs to take more chances. I mean, they've got some great directors for all their stuff. They got some great script writers, great stars, but do some grown up shit as well. I mean, our inner kids all love the MCU and the Star Wars universe, but yeah, it would be nice. That would be especially funny. Bizarre thing that happened this week: Ryan Reynolds and another guy bought a Welsh soccer team. It's finally been approved this week. They brought Wrexham Town AFC. Now Wrexham Town, it's not even a fucking city in Wales. It's a North Wales town. It's pretty tiny. Teams have always been in the lower reaches. They've had a couple of big FA Cup shocks over the years. They've beaten Arsenal. I think they beat Manchester United. But they've always sort of like been second, third division. I think they're kind of out of not even in that now. So it's totally random. Don't know how much it cost and whatever, but yeah, um, I just thought it was totally fucking insane. Uh, Hang on, the adult bit of what the hell? Disney Plus adult bit on the 20. What the hell is the Disney Plus adult thing? All right, now I'm hitting the Google. Look at this. I got this keyboard here. Let me see. Oh, look at this. Disney Plus will be offering more adult content. How the hell did I miss this? Oh, back in November 22. Yes, I'm still in a post election hangover. So let's see. Let me see. All right. Deadpool, Alien, Predator, a lot of the Fox stuff. Okay, so that's interesting because Disney Plus Star. All right. Okay, this better not be a additional pay service. This should be just part of Disney Plus. I mean, a lot of that stuff's actually on Hulu over here because Disney bought controlling stake in Hulu. Anyway, all right. I think we're done. Thank you, folks. Is there anything Disney doesn't own? Well, apparently they're putting a bid in for MGM now, which is the Bond stuff. Ah, anything else? No. All right. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to everybody who followed me. Thanks to everybody who is now commenting and saying hi on the YouTube channel. Big shout out to you because you guys have stuck around for several years. I think maybe you were subscribed to my channel and then totally forgot about it, much like I did. So apologies for it just sitting there gathering dust. I may not be a night gamer anymore, but I'm guaranteed to say something to piss you off at some point. I am unapologetically liberal, socialist, not totally as far left as that, everything offends me. But I do believe in certain things, and that those things will always be on my show because I believe I have a responsibility to talk about this stuff. I am not the sort of person who will, I'm going to protect my brand. Oh, I'm only going to talk about this in video games and stay away from this and this and this, because that's not me anymore. And I've got nobody else to talk to because I'm still in lockdown. We haven't seen any of our friends in months, uh, even on Zoom, because people are just busy. Um, yeah, so like you said, you're my ongoing COVID therapy. I'm very much appreciate you guys reaching out and sitting down and joining, and everybody who watches post, whether because you've got stuff going on during the day or whatever, and everybody who watches on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for that as well. I will be back on Tuesday, and then I'll be back on Wednesday for streaming. And at some point, I'll be able to start giving you guys free shit because I've got all these like Prime offers and stuff, Prime gaming things that I think I can activate once I'm affiliate status, and then I'll start putting up stuff. I hope it works. It'd be nice to give away some free shit without having to ship anything to anybody because I'm not paying for that. I like you guys, but not that much. Take it easy, folks. You rock. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Be good to one another. Unless the people that you don't have to be good to are wankers. Just fuck the wankers. I will be back at some point. Where did my cursor go? See, I've got two screens going. It's very tricky. One cursor across two screens, not enough space. All right. 56 for. I'm going to go to 57. I'm going to go to an even 57. So I'm going to just sit here and waffle for the next 8 seconds. Sorry, sub level. I'm going to try and keep that swearing out of the chat thing. And now I've gone over the 57. You guys rule. Take it easy. Have a great weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. By the way, 12 days dry. Very interesting. It's become a sort of like challenge. Let's see if I make it through Valentine's Day without having a drink with my darling wife. Ciao.